I was sleeping in the bushes. Right now, I'm staying with a friend in his camper. I sleep in the car a lot of the time, and the trailer is kind of small.
There's a certain amount of suffering that's happening with individual women, and so they can be in relationships that are very exploitative, that are very parasitic, and also, also be sort of in debt going back and forth between those different relationships. So there can be, it's a setting, it's an environment of violence and debt and exploitation. And it's hard to survive without being part of that.
This one Monday night I came back and everything all up and down the block had been dumped in piles on the corner. And so since that had happened sometime in the morning or afternoon, all day long people were going through my stuff. So anything, like the sleeping bag was gone, the tarp to keep dry was gone, my cart was gone. My counselor had helped me put together a bag of stuff called Fuji, because I have trouble with organization. So it was all, put together in a thing, even if it didn't make sense. And that was just strewn everywhere. And he said, well, I guess it would be okay if you sleep in my car for the night, because it's already by then it's probably already 2 in the morning.
The downside of getting a check is that you're going to be exploited. Oftentimes by intimate partners, but not necessarily.
I had met 1 or 2 people that knew him. I had met them like in the soup line kind of a thing. Yeah. And like this one friend of his was very upset that me, like the new kid on the block, nobody knows me, that he was letting me stay in the car and not him. He was very upset about that.
I've had women who've tried to ask me if I could be a bank for them. I didn't have I can't do that because that's not under my purview. But it just shows you an example of how little institutional resources they have to actually keep their money safe.
It's very cold. It's very cold in the camper. A lot of times it's colder in the camper than it is in the car. So what I've been doing, I have this jar of water, and it has a metal cap. It's like a mason jar or something, and I put it upside down in a pan of water, and I heat it for about 20-30 minutes. But that uses a lot of propane, and it's not my propane. But the good news is that if I stick it in my down jacket, it'll last 4 or 6 hours.
That is the drug sex economy. That's where many of the women are operating, whether they're on the street or in SRO hotels. And so they're accumulating debt to the hotel owners. They're accumulating debts because they had to pay someone so that they wouldn't be in a violent situation last week, and that debt's coming in. And so it's a constant state of money terror for women. And just as Elise said, the risk is that the money in their pocket will actually it's already marked for some other thing, and breaking that cycle is incredibly difficult to do. And importantly, a welfare benefit isn't that either. And so much of this centers around access
especially for women,
to forms of entitlement, and those are really important, really significant debates in the everyday lives of homeless people. And so it's an incredible false sense of security, or should be a false sense of security to people to think that just because women have access to a welfare benefit that they're stabilized.